Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda. This is a vlog of my late autism and ADHD diagnosis. And I'm kind of in a hurry right now because running late. I am going to meet with a new doctor today, and I just kind of want to vlog my anxiety and experience before I go, and then I will give an update when I get back. So my current doctor that I've had for 11 years is moving out of the country. So I had to find a new general practitioner. And I think in the end, it's going to be for the best, because while I really, really like my old doctor, because she was somebody who didn't pretend like she knew everything. Like when you brought her information, she would look into it and research it and forward you on to experts in the field that maybe knew more about it, that kind of thing. She also was with us for me and my kids for 11 years and did not know enough about autism or ADHD to diagnose the three of us. And so her level of just knowing anything about autism is pretty low. And I think she's going to catch up with that. Although I don't know if she can continue to be a doctor in her whatever country she moves to, because she'll probably have to go through new licensing. But that's a tangent. The long story short is that left me with having to find a new general practitioner. And I'm privileged to have insurance and be in a place where I can find a doctor. I know a lot of people, they rely on urgent care because of various reasons. Finding a consistent doctor is just not something that's accessible to them in the American healthcare system. But anyway, after a lot of research, I found a nurse practitioner, which I would prefer a MD or a DO, which is what my other one was. But everyone's moving out of the country. All the doctors are leaving. So nurse practitioner. And when I was doing research and asking about it, a lot of people actually told me that they've worked with nurse practitioners before and they preferred them over having an MD. So that actually gave me a lot of hope. So maybe she's going to be amazing, and she can prescribe medications and do, I guess, almost everything that a MD can do. I'm not 100% sure on the differences. So a lot of this fast talking right now is because I'm actually really anxious. Going to a new location, although it's in the same shopping center as my kids' old music studio. So it's I know where it is, but that is also part of what's causing me some anxiety this morning. So she's a new doctor to our area, and so she's setting up practice. And when I first contacted her a month and a half, 2 months ago, she was in a different location. And a couple weeks ago, I got a text saying, hey, we've moved to a new location, because that first one was always temporary anyway. They were sharing a space with somebody. And so when I got that text a couple weeks ago, I didn't really think anything of it. Because it's I don't need to know this information yet. I'm going to ignore it. Just how I help compartmentalize my brain. Well, last night, I'm okay, I better look up where it is so I know how long I need to get ready in the morning. And when I looked it up and I looked at the text a little bit more closely, it said that, then I'm not going to give any details because I don't want to give away my location, but it said the name of a company that is still, it said the name of this company is still going to be the sign on the door. And just out of curiosity, I looked up that name of that company because, something about it, and yeah, it's an ABA therapist. And I'm many of y'all know I'm very anti-ABA. So I'm I hope this doctor's not working with them. Because I know their previous location, they were sharing a space. Is she working with this ABA therapist? Because that's going to be a no-go for me. And because this doctor on her website, says she's neurodivergent affirming, blah, blah, blah. Well, I went back and reread through her whole website, and under resources, it lists occupational therapy, which, as y'all know, I really am a big fan of occupational therapy. So maybe this whole ABA building spot is just a weird coincidence. I hope so. I think so. But my new doctor lists herself as being neurodivergent herself. She does not list what, so I don't know if she's autistic, ADHD, or some other neurodivergence. But I feel good. Like, I'm actively looking for practitioners that are neurodivergent. My new eye doctor, for instance, has ADHD, and my new therapist is autistic ADHD. So I was really, I searched far and wide to find somebody who listed that they are neurodivergent on their profile. So I'm hoping this goes really well. I'm hoping to start up anxiety and ADHD meds again. If you've been following along, my ADHD medicine journey so far has not been successful. But I need to go. So wish me luck. And I'll stitch in the rest of the video when I get back sometime this afternoon. And I feel so underprepared also because, like, I had this whole weird time blindness thing where in my head this appointment wasn't until next week. And last night around dinner time is when I realized it was today. So, which was kind of good because I didn't have too much time to spend panicking and getting extra anxiety. Like, I didn't spend all day anxious because I didn't realize it till, dinner time. But also I feel really underprepared because I was going to take time to write out a list of things I wanted to talk to you about the doctor, and I didn't have time to do last night, and I haven't done it. So I'm just gonna have to wing it, which never works, never goes well for me, but it's where it is. And if she's really neurodivergent affirming, she's gonna understand that. So, all right, see y'all guys later. Hey, I'm back from the doctor. It's been like an hour and a half since my appointment. I came home and had some lunch. I was so anxious on the way to the doctor, and I'm just feeling more and more anxious. My anxiety hasn't gone down since I got home. I actually ended up just now taking one of my as-needed anxiety medications. So I'm hoping that it'll chill out soon as it starts working. I probably should have taken it before the appointment, but I didn't think about it because it's not a medicine I take very often. So I don't think to take it. Which, ironically, one of the things that we talked about in the appointment was getting on an anxiety medicine. The last one I tried, Lexapro, didn't work for me. I made a couple videos about that. So it was very, very strange. So this is a very small doctor starting a new practice. I think I mentioned that earlier, and just new location. And so she hasn't moved in all the way. And I walked in and it was like this empty lobby, like just big empty room. There was a couple of pieces of artwork on the walls, very minimal, and 3 chairs that were like a just basic upgrade from like a folding chair in the lobby. And on the wall there was a piece of paper taped to the wall that said, "The receptionist works remotely. Text to let us know you're here." And I'm like, okay, that's weird. I kind of wish I'd known that ahead of time. Like, it wasn't a big deal, but like it felt really weird walking into this very empty, quiet space. Like, the quiet was nice, but there was no people around. And so I texted, and I got a response back right away that says, "Doctor will be out with you soon." I'm like, okay. And then, which was kind of nice. I didn't have to like do any paperwork. I did that all ahead of time, and that was really nice. You didn't have to refill it all out. You know how like sometimes you have to fill out the paperwork online and then you get there and you have to fill it out all again? Didn't have to do that this time. So my doctor is autistic ADHD. She verified that within the first like 2 minutes of the appointment. And she also talked about how she doesn't use eye contact which I thought was really cool. She was very much an unmasked autistic professional, and it was interesting to encounter because she had a very stereotypical, and I'm saying stereotypical because this is not all autistic people, but it is a common stereotype to have a very flat, monotone affect. And she did, which was fine. But it was in stark contrast to many other doctors that I've had who have a very warm, bubbly, over the top, like bedside manner is what they call it. She was just like to the point, direct, clear communication. All those things were really good. Although I did feel like we had a little bit of dancing around trying to like communicate well. Because like it was an establishing care appointment, and then she's like, we have some time to talk about things that you might want to address, and the ADHD medicines were definitely on top of that. And I don't want to get too much into like my entire medical history, but like we kind of talked about some of my past medical history and different medicines, and she wants to go in a very different direction than my previous doctor, which also is causing me some of my anxiety because change is hard, and I've had that doctor for 11 years, and like I told you at the beginning of this video, like it's probably a good thing that I'm finding a new doctor, but I actually really liked my old doctor, and I'm sad that she's moving away and that I'm having to find a new doctor. She did miss my autism and ADHD diagnosis, but when I got diagnosed, she was so on board, and she's learning about it. One of my kids is coming downstairs. So change is hard kind of thing. Like, I'm sure this doctor's going to be great, but it means that I won't be seeing my old doctor. And, you know, with my old doctor, we tried a couple of different ADHD medicines and they weren't working. So potentially this whole new approach might be the absolute way to go. But I guess like in such a short appointment, I was like kind of in a whirlwind of like, I was expecting to like kind of just forge ahead with the plan that my previous doctor had set up. And to so very quickly change, I think I just need more time to process it. I'm feeling very, very conflicting mixed emotions about the whole situation. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, sometimes you get a big warm fuzzy right off the bat and you know something's an absolute perfect match. This time I didn't get that, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be good. It just means that I need to, like, I didn't get any, like, red flags or anything like that, oh, this is bad. I just got, this is very different, which I knew it was going to be going into it because their whole practice is set up to be neurodivergent affirming and also LGBTQ affirming is one of their other huge practice goals. Hold on, I forgot what I was saying. But it's just the fact that like change is difficult, and when I'm used to navigating this social structure that's, you know, set up, like the current medical model of how things function, and then to meet this doctor who is not necessarily going off the straight medical model that you're used to, it's hard, it's different for me. And so change is just one of the things that many autistic people struggle with, and I'm struggling with that right now. But overall, like I said, I liked her. Everything she said with the new plan does make sense. I mean, I don't want to be cryptic. It's just hard for me to wrap my head around it. Like, I've struggled with high blood pressure for a long time, but every time I've gone to the doctor, they're like, oh, you kind of are like on the cusp of almost having high blood pressure, but it's not to the fact that you actually have high blood pressure. It's just something we need to monitor. Like, I've been told for years and years and years, you don't actually have high blood pressure. We just need to monitor you. Well, my anxiety was so high today. I set the machine off. It was blaring beep, beep, beep. And she's like, we need to put you on blood pressure medicine. And I said, well, my history is that it's been always something I have to monitor. And at my last appointment, the doctor was really happy with my blood pressure. And I don't know why I feel like blood pressure medicine seems scary. I don't even know why that is. She said that there's like a stigma against blood pressure medicine, so maybe I'm responding to that without realizing it. But so she wants to put me on blood pressure medicine before we go further with ADHD medicines. And I've been like, it's been over a year since I tried to get on ADHD medicine. And it's just like, it's one thing after the other. And I don't even know if the ADHD medicine will help me. But it's like, it's just one more step. And if it's what I need and it's better for my health, then that's what we need to do. But so I'm gonna start this medicine and then get monitored, and if the medicine helps, then her plan is to put me on an ADHD medicine. And she again, going the opposite. My previous doctor said if you handle anxiety first, then it's easier to treat ADHD. And this doctor is saying that if you treat the ADHD, then your anxiety might just naturally be reduced. And I want to believe her. I mean, she's autistic ADHD, and she's up to date on all of this. This is her specialty. My other doctor is like trying to learn about it. So I need to like put trust in this new doctor. It's just I have 11 years of history with the previous doctor that I need to just let go. Anyway, I will say that communication with this new doctor has been really well, like as far as texting, and I have to get some blood work done too. And she sent me like very, very clear, precise instructions on how to go get the blood work done, which is really appreciative because my last doctor, she wanted me to go do an EKG again, because of this whole blood pressure thing, right? And she didn't tell it to me in the appointment, so I couldn't ask her. She called, this is my previous doctor, she called the day after my appointment. Her nurse did. She said, hey, doctor wants you to do an EKG. And so I asked the nurse, I'm like, what does that mean? How do I go get an EKG? Like, what does that, where do I go? And the nurse was like, well, I don't know. I think you just go to the hospital. I'm like, I need more instruction than that. I can't just walk up to the hospital because one, there's like several hospitals in our city, which is the hospital, and walk in and be like, hey, I need an EKG. There's steps. What are the steps? And the nurse was like, I don't know. And so I just didn't do it. But this new doctor, she needs me to get lab work done at a specific hospital. And she sent me an email with step-by-step instructions on how to do it and what to check off and how to schedule it and all the information. It's like, yay. So I've already got that scheduled. It's like, I can do it if I have instructions. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and upload this video. And then one quick little side note for some good news for people who have been following along. As y'all know, in the end of December, I started writing a book and finished it a while back. And I was kind of like giving it time to breathe. I let a couple close friends read it. And I submitted it to a couple publishers, but I haven't heard back, which is like really common. Sometimes it takes 6 months or so to hear back from a publisher. But I want to go ahead and try to pursue self-publishing. I sent it to the publishers, but I want control. Like, if you send it to a publisher, you're not going to have control over your whole book. And I like pathological demand avoidance. I like control. I want to be able to pick out my cover design and, all of that. So I scheduled myself with a meeting to talk to an editor tomorrow. So this is just a 30-minute Zoom call to see if we're a good fit to work together. And I think it's cool. Like, she's got to like me and I got to like her, and then prices and timing. Like, does she have availability? That kind of thing on when she could take the book. Because if she's booked out for 4 or 5 months, then I might look for somebody who has sooner availability. But it felt like a really big step because I've been thinking about this for like 2 weeks now. And I'm like, I'm going to take the plunge. And so I scheduled the call. And I'm really excited about that. So I'll keep y'all updated, because for those who don't know, my book is, the main character is autistic. And I think it's just a really important story to tell. I'm going to read the log line to y'all. So that's something else I had to learn. Like, what is a log line? I had no idea. When you submit to some publishers, they ask you for a 1-sentence summary of your book. It can be a very long sentence, apparently, but 1-sentence summary of your book, and it's called a log line. So I worked very hard, and this is what I've created as the log line for my story, like the 1-sentence summary. In a modern twist on love, an autistic librarian finds herself captivated by a mysterious vampire she meets through TikTok, navigating the complexities of romance alongside her best friend who has dissociative identity disorder, in a tale that challenges societal norms and celebrates the beauty of diverse love. So that's my book in a nutshell, and I really, really want to get it published so that people can read an autistic affirming story. All right. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to, do all the things, like, comment, share this video. And until the next one, bye. Okay, I take it back. As soon as I finished filming, I got an email from the editor that I just reached out to, and she doesn't have availability for months and months and months, which I was really appreciative that she told me that straight up without wasting time with a phone call. And she said she was interested in the synopsis of my book, though. But I am going to go ahead and look for an editor who maybe has sooner availability. And I told her, if not, then I'm still very interested in, circling back to her. But still, I'm proud of myself for taking that first step and reaching out to somebody, because that was huge.